If you're out to describe the truth, leave elegance to the tailor. Albert Einstein. Hello, my name is John Rose, and I'd like to use that quote along with what's known as the fog index to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of in your next contract. Now, this is especially true, this fog index and Einstein's quote, when we're on the hero's journey and we're sharing our message, we want to keep it simple. But when you enter into a contract, you want to make sure you keep that contract simple. You want to use what's known as the fog index. Now, this is a proven mathematical way to determine what level you are writing at. It's a very simple calculation. You take a paragraph that's approximately 100 words. You calculate the average amount of words per sentence. And then you keep track of how many big words, polysyllable words, words with more than 3 syllables there are. And you take a percentage of those. And you add those two together and multiply times 0.4. I'll give you a really simple example. Let's say I have a paragraph, 100 words, 10 sentences, 10 words per sentence. Divide 100 by 10, hey, it's 10. That's the length of an average sentence. And to that number, we add the big word percentage. Well, let's just say, again, make this example simple, that I only use one polysyllable word with 3 syllables one time in every sentence. So now I have 10 polysyllable words. Divide that by 100, it's 10%. So now I have 10 words as the average sentence length, plus the 10%. We drop the percentage. We add 10 and 10, we get 20. Multiply that times 0.4, and we get 8. And that's right around where we want to have contracts written, between the 7 to 8 fog index level range. Newspapers, the Bible is written at an 8th grade level. Most contracts are written in the 20s somewhere to make sure they can screw you and take advantage of you. So what they do is they put so many clauses within one sentence that by the time they tell you what's really happening, you don't know for sure which clause it refers to. Now, I realize not all of us have the luxury when we enter into a contract to demand that contracts be written at a certain level, but many times we do. In fact, a good policy, if you're in business, is don't do business with anybody unless they sign your contract. If they want for you to sign their contract, saying, fine, I'll do it, provided you make sure that contract is written at a 7 to 8 fog index level, so that it's clear what's happening. Now, if you go to an insurance contract, for example, most of those are written around the 26 fog index level for a reason. And that's why when you go to one person in one insurance company, they can't read another insurance company's policy because of the fog index. Too many clauses within clauses within clauses within clauses, so you don't know what's happening. You can avoid that by keeping that fog index simple. And I just explain how you do it. It's simple. You just take the sum of 2 numbers, multiply times 4. Count how many words there are on an average. Now, I could have given another example, said I had 10 sentences, 5 or 15 words, and 5 or 5. Well, 75 and 25 still 100. When you take an average, you still get 10 words per average. That's the first number you get. Then how many big words are you using? You've got to keep that to a minimal if you want to keep that fog index down. In the case I just gave, I only had 10. Well, what if half the words were polysyllable words? Now they're 50. 50 and 10 is 60. 60 times 0.4, 24. You see where I'm headed with this? So, if you're entering a contract and you don't want to be taken advantage of, and you've got the ability to have control over that contract, make sure that it's written at a low fog index level. But guess what? That's not what lawyers want to do, right? If a lawyer handed you a contract that was written at an 8th grade level, and you got it, you go, well, golly, my little 12-year-old girl couldn't write as good as this. Exactly. That's what you want. You want to keep it simple, my friends. And this also goes when you're on the hero's journey. You don't want to write and talk to impress people. Do it to express the truth. Once again, if you're out describing the truth, leave elegance to the tailor. The truth is too important. And of course, what you're going to find when you're trying to find the truth and someone's going to try to deceive you, they'll present the information at a really high fog index to try to confuse the people they want to go along with their beliefs. And you see that all the time. So this is a good way to tell whether or not someone's trying to be honest with you. Calculate their fog index. If it's really high, there's a good chance it's high other than their ego and they're trying to impress you. Might be because they're wanting to take advantage of you. So keep that in mind when it comes to something that's as important as putting an end to the suffering on this planet. And even as far as being taken advantage of in a contract. Imagine entering into a contract and you kept reading a certain line, you kept thinking it was referring to you, but you didn't realize, no, they flipped it way back in the other part where they put you inside a clause and you know you're a different person. Or you're not the same thing that you think it is. You are. So it behooves us, my friends, to keep things simple in life. Keep your contract simple. Keep your diet simple. In fact, the simpler the meal, the better you're going to feel. And when you can do all that, I guarantee you, you're in for a treat.